the England score. I'm happy if you make it up, but don't tell me how it actually pans out. And as the numbers tick down, we're on for the lower bracket final. Arctic versus Califer, and I have to say this because I forget to almost every week. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. I think the algorithm is pumping this stuff out to people that really don't know much about Factorio and Inter, and it's getting people interested. So if you like the content, please feel free to drop it a like. If you like the channel, please feel free to drop us a subscription. It will make me feel good, but also I think it tells the algorithm that this stuff is worth engaging in. Like, this is actually good content. And oh, Jeff, welcome in, mate. Yeah, I saw you typing in games. I thought, probably, if you're new to Factorio, or you're a seasoned Factorio player, but this is new to you, the stream might be a better place to be for now, because this is the back end of a tournament. So, effectively, oh my god, mate, the island... Okay, we'll talk a little rugby, but I just want to explain some stuff to Jeff. So yeah, welcome in, everybody. We'll talk a little rugby, but yeah, so this is the back end of a tournament, and there is a lot at stake here. We have the low bracket final today, another game tomorrow, and then the game after. So, oh dude, we are going to get to yellow science within the first 60 minutes of this game. So at the moment, you can see that, in fact, you know, I think it's worth me explaining, just generally speaking, because I don't do this that often. We have two teams, one on the north, one on the south. Both teams have a captain. If you check out my Discord, my Twitch channel, somewhere down in the lower elements of it, you'll find a link to the Discord. In fact, let me stick one in chat now, just for anybody watching that wants to jump on board. If you check the channel out, you'll be able to find builds, and yeah, you'll be able to find loads of really, really cool bits and pieces, like resources that should help teach you the game. However, we have a north team, we have a south team, each team has a captain. This is a Masters tournament, we're trying to find the best captain in the server. If you want any kind of like, if you want a bit of a hint, it's me. I'm just not playing. So each team basically has one objective. It's to survive as long as you can, and to make sure that the rocket silo in your base, and in the north, we have it here in the north, and in the south, obviously, coincidentally, it's in the south. We must save this silo from being destroyed. Now, it sounds kind of easy, and with 19 people on one team and 18 on another, with the teams probably growing to around about the mid-20s, in terms of player numbers, you think that'd be kind of an easy thing to do, right? Everybody just builds up some science, eventually we end up with a massive base, and then we just protect the silo with like laser towers, don't we? And then that's kind of game. Like, why would we even play this? This is boring. And that's where this game really takes shape. The South can influence. We're all influencers, guys. It's 2026. Everybody's an influencer. As you can see, the bugs here are very, very small, so small and weak. And with the pistol and no armor, you can or even just melee them, you can melee the bugs down, and they're pretty simple and easy to kill. Over the course of the game, the enemy team can influence the state of your bugs. So the enemy team can make them stronger, bigger, faster, and can make more of them. How'd you do that? Great question, Ghosty. Let me answer and ask that question in the same breath. You have two choices in this game. You can research with science, as you can see here, this little laboratory, or laboratory, depending on what part of the world you're from. You can stick one down, stick some science in it, and you can research whatever you like. In fact, here we go. We can see what both teams are researching. But you effectively need to get down this tech tree in order to access better items, better buildings, and deeper technologies. Hey man, you might want a car, but you don't get it straight away. How'd you get there? Well, you're going to need some red jugs and some green jugs. You need to research it. So, and Clyde, trust me, we're going to talk about the Italian game, because that was one hell of a game. And also Ireland, I think, have got some massive problems. But just for now, I just want to explain the game mode. So you might want batteries, for instance. You need to research them. So you need to kind of create a lab and put some research into it. And over time, that will research that technology that you want. However, you can also, if you want to, influence the enemy team's bugs by throwing science over the river. And effectively, the simplest way I can explain that is that you need to build the science. It needs to be in your inventory pockets. So kind of, you know, in your pockets, in your character, in the game. There's a little panel here on the left-hand side that as spectators we don't see, but in-game there's a little panel here on the left-hand side, and if you click a button, it will be able to send different sciences, and each science will influence the bugs in a different way. The most basic science influences the bugs in a small way, so you can send, well, in fact, you know what, here we go, we have a calculator built into our, perfect. So somebody throw out a number between 1 and 1,000, just anybody, just throw a random number out, and we'll check to see the difference in that number in each science being thrown. 654 I see. Right now, if 654 red jugs appear magically on the south and they throw that to the north, the bugs evolve to 7.8%. So they're kind of harder to kill, right? They become... Now, obviously, you need to build 654 science to make this happen. But let's just go to level 2. Let's go to green sign, 654. I mean, you can kind of get a lot of green jugs early on. Let's calculate that. Ooh, okay, interesting. The bugs go from 0%, really easy to kill, to 12% if evolved. What that means effectively is they're harder to kill, right? And they potentially will be, rampaging down the map, making your life worse. Let's miss a few steps out, because obviously we know where this is going, but let's just go to let's go to yellow signs, all right? Because yellow is probably where we're going to get today. 654 yellow jugs. Now, they're hard to build, and it will take time to research and get there, but that evolves the bugs by 63%. And 63% bugs are very hard to kill, as we know. Especially if you don't have the right kind of tools at your disposal, right? You could end up fighting bugs that you haven't researched the ways to defend against. You literally could be at death's door within the first 20 or 30 minutes of the game because your research hasn't gone in a direction which allows you to defend. Now, that's jugs and sending. So each team can affect the other side's bugs and make them stronger. But the main kind of thrust of this game is to build up a base that is researching fast enough, that gives you access to those later technologies. And also one thing to note, and I did get a couple of questions about this on YouTube, you cannot load in with a blueprint book. There are no pre-made blueprints in this game. So later on, you're going to see some enormous builds go down. It has to be built in the game, in the server, like now. So, I wouldn't say it's low skill to use blueprints, but if you're kind of a fan of making up a solution to a problem as you see it, this is the game mode for you. Every game, the ore patches are randomized, so we'll never see this map ever again. I guarantee you that. The team that you have and the roles which each team member plays are different, and we'll go through those roles as well as the geometry of the map, the topography of the map. So, lakes being in certain areas, oil being in certain areas, it's never the same. You cannot cross the river, but by sending science, you're making the side that your enemy is on harder to be in. So, at the beginning of the game, obviously, we want to automate as much stuff as possible, so we slap down basic power, we put a couple of power lines down, and, we get through our basic researches, which just gives access to more and better stuff. Ah, yeah, great question. Yeah, I will do, Jeff, will do. Also, if anybody is wondering, my name is Ghosty. I am the kind of unofficial host of these games, or streamer of these games. I was at one point the best player of this game. I was the most successful captain. I was rank 1 for a long period of time. So I'll try my best to explain stuff and break it down, but sometimes the best players don't make the best explainers, if that makes sense. Now, I've been doing this long enough, so I hope I've got a good enough way of explaining this. I'm also very humble, by the way. I'm a legend, but I'm also legendarily humble. So, yeah, a bit of an in-joke there. So let me just have a quick sip of coffee, and we'll talk about the bugs, because these guys are the most important part of the map. Most important part, by far. Oh, that's good coffee. Right. Oh, no. Hey, do you know what? We'll wait. I can wait. I'll hold. Don't worry. Damn. Okay, 50 seconds. Let's take a quick look at the map whilst we wait for Jeff to get back from an advert. I run the least amount of adverts I possibly can, guys. I'm sorry if they do pop up at weird times. The least amount I can run is, I think, like a minute and a half every hour, and that's it. If I wanted to be earning a bit more money, I guess I could, ramp that up, but I don't care. I'm not that interested. So, the map is in abundance. Obviously, main base has a lot of really nice patches, almost 1 million copper, 2 million iron, 600k stone, yeah, almost 1 million coal here as well, with a couple of ancillary coal patches on top. So main base has certainly got an abundance of ores around it. Meanwhile, looking outside of that, there's some really nice spots for an outpost. There's some really, really nice spots both to the east and the west. And with that, I need to get my drawing tools out, which I've not yet loaded up. So yeah, the one thing that I would say about myself that makes me slightly unique is A, I'm a legend, number one. And number two, I've managed to incorporate MS Paint into my stream. You might think, why would you do that? Well, yes, why not, why not? So let me just quickly denote. So I'll talk really quickly about main base, and then Jeff will talk about the threat, because that's really important. So there are two kinds of playstyles here. Let me see. Grab this. We have a main base area, which is here. And then beyond that, what we need to do is determine where we are going to build the structures that will allow us to research deeper into the game. So we're going to build our smelting here or here. And we also need to determine how deep our base goes, right? We can't make this sprawling base because it's going to be really hard to defend. One thing that makes bite battles incredibly unique is the fact that we have to really compact our base down. So threat, great transitional point. Let me turn off my drawing tools. No, I just turned myself off. There we go, perfect. So at the beginning of the game, the bugs are very, very weak. And what we do as a community is that we go and farm them. Think of these guys as a resource. When they're in a negative, they become passive. So when we go into their area, as you'll see players do, let's see if I can catch somebody doing, it's early game, so we don't see people doing it often, but if you enter their territory and kill them early, the whole map becomes passive. So if you see a negative number up here, even -1, no bugs will attack anything on the map. The moment that the number goes positive, the bugs have enough numbers, they have enough spawns to send waves of bugs into the map. What does that look like? I'll show you right now with my amazing, obviously legendary. So Reds is lower because they're prioritizing and they're killing more bugs on their side than the North are. I think what the North are doing is they're setting up a mini base first. So they've got some, they've got like a little bit of smelting here. And I think what they want to try and do early on is, make the most of these gun towers and probably build up some grenades. So the South, and this is what's great about this game, by the way, the South have chosen to aggressively threat farm early. The North have gone aggressive on the threat farming. The South, I believe, here we go, they have a base that's going to produce stuff, so they're slow to the threat farm. Now, in the beginning of the game, at 1% strength, bugs aren't a problem. They're really easy to kill. In fact, you can melee them, but it's going to be slowly building up in terms of strength. And as you know, guys, at the end of the game, the bugs become so strong, they one-tap everything. So, I'm really sorry to hear that, mate. I'm sorry to hear that you play League of Legends. Hey, we all make mistakes. There's a game called Dota, D-O-T-A. Yeah, much better. I joke. You like what you like. But Factorio is a hell of a game, mate. And this is competitive. I mean, this is so competitive that we have managed, and I say we, not me. And by the way, guys, anybody posting links in chat, check with me first, because I don't want anybody to get banned. But this link here, and I just want to click on it to make sure, just to show you that I'm not sending a malicious link in chat, is our stats page. So let's just check on Carl, for instance. Carl is a new player, he's a learner player. And as we can see here, Carl's win rate is 57%. He has a ranking of 217, he has an ELO rating, and we can check who he plays well with, who plays well against him, as well as how fast his science is, and we can check out his match history. So, we've managed to make this as competitive as possible. So, back to threat farming. When the bugs are positive, they can attack the map effectively. They can come down the map, and their only goal is to evict anybody on the map that they don't like. So, they will come for this base, they will come for this smelting, but their main priority is to get right into the middle of your map and hit your rocket silo and kill it. So, as a team, you have two things you need to do. One, protect your base at all times. You're in a fight. This is a race. People are racing against you. This is not sandbox. So if you want a leisurely, casual game of Factorio, this is not for you. You will not enjoy it. Each person has a role. For instance, this base will have something that they do differently to this base. This base will have something differently to a base out here. Everybody's effort combines to one defensive play, but also allows your team to research. Now, again, that's not going to happen fast, right? So I've got a bit of time to kind of go through some of the more linear detail here, but just understand that anybody playing here, this close to the bugs, their goal, their sole role here is to fight the bugs. Just to keep it basic, right? I can go really detailed later, but just for now, if the guys are close to the bugs, these are defined as threat farmers. They're here, and they're here to farm the bugs until the bugs are too strong. You have other bases outside of this main base area that are just off to the side. A lot of the time these are kind of satellite bases. And, that's interesting. Jeffro, mate, you're asking some very good questions here. You're in the right place. So we have a Discord, and if you go into game, I'll just do it now, but if you type Discord into game, or if you look at I didn't spell it right, I'm an idiot. A link will pop up to our Discord. At the bottom of my, in fact, I posted it in chat earlier, we have the Bite Battles Discord, and in there are multiple voice channels. These games are so organized, the community talk to each other. So all 19 players on South are constantly talking. It's almost like a war game. This is like a live strategy game where Tim will be talking directly to Jimmy, and Arctic is the captain. So Arctic has a big plan that they're trying to make happen, the same way that the North have their captain and they have their plan of trying to make things happen. Everybody's firing information across to each other. How fast can you get this up? Who can go and get oil? We need to develop power. Who's got this base? And it gets really quick, really loud in chat. You also have people on different Discord calls as well, but I would say as a new player, dive into your Discord channel and ask your captain, what can I do? And that leads me on to a fantastic point that I don't make as often. Let's say, for instance, my name's Ghosty, I'm a brand new player, and I've landed here. Boom, I'm Kojito, I've just landed on Team South. I don't know what's going on over here. This looks really complicated, and I want to help my team, but I don't want to ruin anything, right? I don't want to get in the way, and these guys have like a plan, and they're doing stuff, and the first thing I'd advise is that you get into your Discord and you say, go into your, even if English isn't your first language, trust me, there's lots of French people here, there are a couple of Americans, we have some Germans, all different languages, all different kind of philosophies on life, etc. And we all blend together for a good game of competitive Factoria. So don't worry if English isn't your first language, trust me, there are people here that speak Polish, that speak Ukrainian, we have Chinese players, Filipino players, we have Australians, a couple of Scottish people, so yeah, it's a good mix of culture and language here. So yeah, there'll be somebody here that'll be able to translate to you what's going on. If not, I'll give it a go. You know, I spoke a little bit of Romanian the other day, which I was quite impressed with. At a certain point, I imagine it is telepathic. It comes to a point where a good captain, like when I captain a game, I would ask a question and then I would quickly look at the map and somebody was already ahead of me. So like, you know, it's like I'll look, you know, into my crystal ball. I realize we need more power. It's at the 45-minute mark where normally the base gets so big we run out of power or we start having power problems. I go into Discord, go, hey guys, can our power block guys, our builders, just look at the next ore patch? So look at the next expansion, and somebody will already, I mean, here we go. Look, Neuro's already doing it. So what a perfect example. These guys are setting up a base that will create basic items. And I think that if you look at the amount of coal around here, this is a perfect spot for power. So as I'm mentioning that we work telepathically as a team, Neuro is the server owner, by the way, guys. If you see him in game, give him some love. The reason we're all here is that this whole thing is funded by Neuro and different donors, people that donate to the Discord. It's free to play. You can play this game right now. So yeah, you can play telepathically. Oh, let's go back to new player. Sorry, I do jump around a bit, but there's a lot to talk about. I land here, I'm new, and I don't know what to do. I talk to my captain, and my captain says, "Hey man, just don't delete this stuff, right? We need this to go up as fast as possible." I wouldn't join an outpost. These guys typically are friendship groups that play together. These are also some of the most skilled players. So I would definitely say that don't join an outpost randomly. Apologies, my dog's barking in the background. I'll try and just mute. If you hear me just randomly mute the mic, guys, it's just because I don't want the echo of the barking to come onto the VOD. It's just not nice to listen to. So if I start talking and I quickly mute it, it's because it's like sneezing. It's just you don't want to hear that stuff. Okay, so what can you do? Well, power, number one. All you need is a couple of yellow belts. And he does. He's just very energetic. Now, he's been sleeping, and you know, I've got a cat here. You might hear a yowl at me, because my puppy likes to sleep where my cat sleeps. But, yeah, new player. Power is never a no. Always building up power is a great idea. So, you know, if I'm a new player, I can come over to, like, look here, coal patch right here. I can make a little power block here for my team. And then maybe later on, I can help get all of this oil, right? So I spend 20 minutes building up this massive power block. I link it to our main base. Our main base has double the power it needs, so we can expand a lot faster. And from there, I can kind of transition into getting some oil for our team. A product that we'll need a lot of, and we need it straight away. So, yeah, as you can see, the base is already really, really quickly building up. We're only 18 minutes into a game, by the way, and we nearly have a main base worth of smelting on the north. They're building out to the west, and the south appears to be building out to the east. Now, what worries me a little bit looking at this is that they're building their smelting stack into open area that is quite far away from main base. Like, I don't know what the plan is for this. So building power is new player number one. We'll talk about the meta game down the line. Getting these ore patches ready to go. So getting electric miners on here. Another fantastic thing to do. You want to leave a couple of these stone furnaces working in the background and feed them with coal every now and again. Mostly because you can just grab a couple hundred plates randomly out of this stuff, right? We leave these coal snakes down because you can just grab like 1,000 coal really quickly. Bots, I see. This is where the meta kicks in. So there was a game that I posted. Let me get my, one sec. Sorry, I feel like I'm self-promoting here. The only reason I upload the VODs onto YouTube is because people watch them back and they study them effectively. So let me just grab my my YouTube channel, because bots were used last game, the last game I uploaded, one team decided to go through bots. I think it's this. But this is a link effectively to the uploads. And what you'll be able to do is scan back through other games and see kind of like where we go with it. Because the thing about bots, right, it's a research that takes you off the main line. So that, let's say, for instance, there is a winning line in research. You know, we want to get to a rocket fast. So we don't necessarily need to research defenders. We don't necessarily need to research certain things. And going and maneuvering our research into robotics and into robots and making robots and obviously, you know, the roboports, etc. It slows down our build, but the trade-off is once that happens, we have massive amounts of robots that we can use to our disposal. So it's a weird one where you sometimes, to go slow, we slow ourselves down in the mid game to speed up at the end game. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it almost worked for them. Almost worked for them. So yeah. Power. So I'm meandering. New players, power and walls. Stone is an underutilized item. We will eventually need to build a wall around our base to protect ourselves, and behind that wall we'll stick flame towers and, you know, gun turrets, and we'll stick laser towers. So we'll need walls building straight away. So as a new player, talk to your team, but I would say, if you can, build a little power outpost, and then, oh dude, more than 10. Honestly, yeah, when I say the builds get big, it gets nutty. And what I like about today's game mode, the difficulty that we're playing at, and look at that, 21 players on North, 20 players on South. It's a big game. Welcome, Sailor. Lurking while I go to the store, but good luck to the teams and the tourney. Hey, welcome in. Thank you for the lurk. Appreciate it. And happy Valentine's Day as well, everybody. We have 41 nerds in-game playing a competitive game of Factorio during Valentine's Day. So, yeah, you love to see it. Yeah, so new player, power block, walls, and then just go back to your team in Discord and say, hey guys, I did a bit of power. You know, I got some oil over here. What else can I do for you? How can I help? And I'm sure somebody, in fact, if I'm on comms, like 100%, like we'll get you, we'll find the job for you to do that works for you, right? The great thing about this game is that there's no draws. Eventually, one side of this map is going to be completely on fire and crumbling down. So, oh, dude, yeah, you will get very, very interesting builds. If you head to the Discord channel, we have a thing called there's a segmented channel just off to the side called BB Builds. You can submit builds for review, and a lot of the kind of really high skill players, the speedrunners and stuff, they have their own builds submitted there, and they're there for review. So a lot of this stuff, say for instance, like, let me just zoom out real quick. I'll explain to you what I mean, right? Let me turn off myself as well. So let me just quickly where am I? I'm here, right? And chat's here. In this window, this window is a specific, here we go, this, boom. We have our labs, right? Sorry, I'm jumping around points here, but this one's important for sure. In a space like this, it's very easy for people to build sprawling bases where one science is over here, one science is over here, and then there's a big gap here. Captain always chooses the research. Captain, imagine it like captaining a pirate ship. He gets to pick where we go, he gets to pick who we fight, and he gets to pick the direction. And we're all crewmates on that ship, hoping that we don't crash. So in this build, right, at the moment we have red-green in this area here, right? Let me use boxes instead, right? I can guarantee you this, because I've seen this build before, that level 1 and 2 will go down here. Level 3 and 4 will operate here. 5 and 6 will be here. And you will see an entire mega base's worth of research. No, dude, it's all good. Honestly, it's all good. I welcome the chat. So what we'll see is, in one screen, the most compact and efficient base build. Again, we're at the end of a tournament now, so if you've got any kind of killer designs, secret designs, they're coming out today. And I guarantee you this, and I mean it, I promise you that somebody is working in the background, like designing, you know, like trying to get an advantage on their opposition. I've done it. Some of you guys have seen my defensive builds. In fact, it's been a while since I've put it down, but like, I have a very specific build that builds in a particular way. It's crazy, dude. It's so good. So yeah, you can do purple laser. Obviously, all of this is preordained. This is pre-planned. So I believe this is this Carl's build, I think? Yeah, this is Carl's build. Carl is one of the best players on the server. I do him dirty every now and again, but he's our friendly German man, or German, and he is incredibly good at the game. You know, if you want to learn from an efficient player, then someone like Carl is worth watching. Equally so on the south, Califerbopbop, as well as Jimmy50. These guys are basically speedrunners. You know, I don't think there are many people with world records that are, you know, like these guys are stupid fast, and I mean that. A German businessman, that's correct. Yeah. So, you know, as you can see here now on the south, for instance, we have a slightly different design. And what somebody's done is somebody's run the numbers. They've said we need this many lines of iron going into this production to insert the next build. What I don't like is they've got a river, they've got a lake in their way. I don't know why they built up here. They could have easily built closer to the river. I guess we'll find out why. But I just wonder why we've left a lot of this dead space here. Because normally you pave over these mixed patches. So again, a different build, and it's a tournament game, guys. If you're going to win, you can't just build safe. You know, you need to take a risk. This I would call standard, you know. We've got gear wheels and bronze plates going into a assembly machine, kicking out red signs. Coincidentally, for the green signs, we have you know, our yellow belts and our yellow inserters, and kicking out green signs. You kind of want to hug the water, because effectively the bugs, right? They're here right now. Later they become massive, and they become stupidly strong. So Coffee Owl right now is a threat farmer. I taught them everything they know. They're kind of like my apprentice. My understudy is kind of Coffee Owl and Zero Sun. They're my children, I guess. Adopted kids, obviously, adopted players. But yeah, they're obviously threat farming. They're kind of clearing the way and pushing the bugs back. So obviously you want to kind of cut them back away from this area, because later on the bugs are going to rampage down the map. So I think that, yeah, building this kind of up away from the river, it's dangerous. It doesn't necessarily mean it's like a win for the North, them doing this. I wonder why they have, though. And I guess we'll see. You know, somebody might have taken a screenshot and gone, actually, if we build across laterally, then we can build vertically, and then we can kind of tuck everything into this area. So maybe this is where they're going to save all of their really big, you know, really big research. So, tanks. We've had some ideas. Cars are currently used, but I believe after this tournament we might be doing some nerfing. What I love about these tournaments is, in fact, you know, whilst let me have some coffee. We'll follow Coffee Owl real quick, and I'll have some coffee and I'll explain. So we have different metas, and this is one of them. Shotgunning worms, grabbing the bugs, looping into, so kind of magnetically grabbing as many of them as you can behind you. So 10 to 20 at the beginning of the game, and then throwing a grenade at our feet, killing off a lot of bugs in a kind of pod. This is how you currently threat farm. Later on in the game, people will be using cars to kind of kite the bugs around, and I think cars are a bit too quick. I think we could do a little bit of nerfing in terms of either the speed or the fuel usage. So during a tournament, metas are defined, so we're seeing a defensive meta being defined. The way that I played when I was kind of king of the world and the best in the world at this, king of the universe actually, because I don't think anybody else was working on it from like Mars. So intergalactic champion, very humble about it, but I think across the cosmos I was probably the best threat farmer there ever has been and ever was. The meta was different when I played. So what we're seeing from Coffee Owl now is different to when I was playing and winning a lot. They're not playing badly at all. This is just very different. Off the back of that, things were nerfed and buffed. Sciences were nerfed and buffed, and we see a different style of play. That goes for main base building as well, but right now what Coffee Owl is doing is, as you can see, the South's threat, they're managing to kill off 1,200 bugs, and the threat is only at 3%, so they haven't evolved, you know, the bugs that much. They're very easy to kill, as you can see. A shotgun shell is just blasting them. Let's look up north. Let's look up north and see what their threat farmer's doing. Zero Sun. Interesting. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's one of my apprentices, Coffee Owl, one of my adopted understudies, is on south, and the other is on north. They've broken up, the power couple. Zero Sun is one of, I think, it's hard to argue, currently the best threat farmer in the game. So, yeah, right now the bugs are exactly the same. However, if one side decided to throw some science, even like 5 jugs of like red or 5 jugs of green, we'd see a difference, a divergence. But because of the game mode that we're playing today, the difficulty that we have on the game, so we're playing Have a Nice Day, it makes more sense to send later game science. Each science has like a mutagen multiplier. And like, you know, obviously the lower, easier to build sciences do less, but as you can see here, production science does 116, so a single jug of production science, purple science, is 116 times stronger than a red jug. So you kind of want to research and get deep into the tech tree, so you can build thousands of purple science to throw. You can build thousands of yellow science, and this, I think, as a League of Legends player, you might appreciate. So you have a chance to anti-strat the opposition. I don't know if you guys know about anti-strats in League. I don't know if that exists, but imagine like counter jungling, right? You have a jungler, they want to get their buffs, they want to go through the map and eventually gank. So one team can basically counter gank the enemy team. So if I'm on north right now and I'm looking at south going, oh, this guy's doing it too easy and he's doing a really good job, I don't want him to do this. I could say to somebody on my team, hey guys, let's get to blue science, right? Let's go, you know, up to, through this research, military research. I want somebody building 1,000 blue, and I want to send that to the south, right? That'll take a while. But now, Coffee Owl, because he's been anti-stratted, is now dealing with almost 40% strength bugs. That shotgun will do nothing to 40% bugs. So you can kind of like crowbar somebody out of a playstyle by anti-stratting them, but what that means is that's 1,000 blue science that you're not researching with, and as we can see, there's so much research to do. It might be worth waiting until purple, it might be worth waiting until yellow, but you never know. Last week we saw a game that looked like it was going to go for 2 hours, and within the first 45 minutes somebody threw an absolute grenade into the game and just blew it up. It was incredible. It was a really good watch. Well, the bugs will only get stronger if Ascend occurs. Naturally, they slowly grow over time. But you see these little... here we go, the car meta. This is very common nowadays. In fact, let's follow Zero Sun, because we can see a difference here. Obviously, the car is taking some damage, so you don't want to lose the car. The last thing you want to do is have a pancaked vehicle on the ground. But the bugs are brown-shelled. At the 25% mark, once they've evolved 25%, they stop being brown, and they go up one evolution. They evolve into purple shell bugs. At the 50% mark, the purple shell bugs evolve into blue shell bugs. And at 90%, behemoth bugs with green shells. So these brown guys, they're not here for too long. You know, we'll see pink bugs very soon. And beyond that, blue and behemoths. We also have bosses that appear later, but I don't want to spoil too much for you. You know, we'll get to bosses as well. Although Neuro is not happy about somebody. Damn. And what we don't want is people joining teams and like, again, this is a tournament game. Like, the last thing that you can do is ingratiate yourself to an entire community by trolling. Like, the one thing I would say, guys, is that you can have any belief you want, you can say what you want to whoever you want to, but if you piss people off on this server, there's a good chance you'll get banned from every good competitive multiplayer server, like Comfy and all that jazz. Like, so just don't put up with somebody being an idiot, but like, you know, try not to troll. You know, like somebody said the M word a couple of months ago, and it was like, come on, man, like, what are we doing? Like, just play the game. You don't need to, like, we can cut that shit out. And even if you say that in your own free time, like, it's your freedom of speech, you can say that stuff. I don't agree with it, but it's your speech, you can say it. But fucking hell, like, the moment you say it in a game or on a Discord call, you're going to get banned. And you're not just going to get banned from here, right? All the admins talk to each other, all of the server owners talk to each other, right? So the moment you think it's funny drawing a swastika in the ground or you know, grenading power, you're kind of telling us that you just aren't worth keeping around and you'll get banned for life. Like, there are people that have gone and done that for a laugh, who've then later on been begging in Discord saying, oh, I was just joking, I didn't mean it. Unfortunately, one time is enough. So I don't say that too often, but please don't troll, because firstly, you won't play the game. Literally, they don't have any reason to keep you around. Even if you're a high school player, you'll just get banned, and that's it. Appealing a ban is it's almost impossible. They just don't want to hear it, and I think that's fine. Having a zero tolerance approach is the best way to go. And beyond that too, you can offer so much more to your team than that, right? You can actually help, and you can be part of a winning team. And there's no... Also, lastly as well, why do we play the game? Why are we here? And why would Zero Sun spend 2 hours on a Saturday, or maybe even 3 or 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday, fighting bugs and fighting the opposition team and trying to get his team a win? Why would you do that? And there's something very special about winning games like this. There's something very... not many of you guys, unless you play Bite Battles often, will know what it's like to give everything, to be mentally locked in for hours, building your base, fighting fires, like reacting to stuff. When you get a win, there's nothing like it in video game. I promise you that. So Jeffro, when you get your first win, when you play and you threat farm, or you're the main base builder, or you're the outposter, or whatever you do, and your team eventually win, and you watch the other side collapse, there's nothing like it. There is no feeling out there. I don't care if you're like a Dark Souls absolute legend and you can win with a Guitar Hero fucking controller. Like in video games, you don't find a win as hard fought as the ones that you get in here, because there are 20 people against you. So when you beat a team, you don't just beat one person playing badly. There's no one weak link. Everything that your side did, everything, from building up power like this to threat farming like this, everybody's role, if they do it correctly, will win. And we've seen, guys, you've all seen this, where the game comes down to a 30-second difference, where one team's silo has bugs on top of it, literally being chewed up, and the other silo explodes, and it is literally a 30-second difference. So you can play for hours, and it can come down to a photo finish. As a first-time player, it really depends on what you like. If you are a bit of a nerdy... I call them nerds, but like people that do the maths and that calculate ratios, like, for instance, the reason why this red chip builder is this long is not by chance. Carl has done the absolute maths on this. He knows that this many copper plates coming out being turned into copper wires can feed this many perfectly. So this one will just barely get fed, but will kick out red chips. I would say offer help to a main base builder. So our main base builders are the likes of your Carl. As you can see here, again, red and as I spoke about earlier on, this science will get crafted into this block with no gaps. This will be a perfectly compacted base. So like learn off people like Carl, make friends with people like Neuro, and say, hey mate, I'm just going to jump in and I'll just help you, Jump into a Discord call, go, hey buddy. And I know it's kind of hard for people nowadays to be communicative. I know it's difficult talking to somebody you don't know. I'm pretty charismatic. I'm an introvert for sure. But when it comes to video games, I'm pretty, like, people go, oh, that's so cringe. How can you be so forward? Like, no, just do it. Just ask people. Say, Califer, mate, you look like you could use some help. Can I come up and help you? Then go up there and help him and say, all right, dude, I just helped you build this. What do you need help with next? Right? Let me take a job off of your hands, right? We've all got lists of stuff that we need to do. So, Califer wants to expand mining, and he wants to smell, and he wants to turn this into other stuff. So say to him, Califer, mate, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do the mining for you, right? So then you can focus on this stuff and this stuff, and let me help you that way, So I would say if you want to do building, I'd say try and be like an assistant to somebody. Not an assistant in terms of you still play the game, obviously, and do what you want, but, the faster that this gets built, the quicker your team wins. So go and say to the main base builders, hey guys, what do you need? I guarantee you they have a list of stuff that they would be more than happy to give you, 100%. And the more that you show that you can play, and the more that you show that you're quick, the bigger jobs they'll give you because they'll trust you more. So, yeah, failing that, if you just want to get in and help a team, power is always needed. You're going to need tons of this stuff. Later on, we're going to need nuclear power. I mean, we have uranium ore really close, so that's great. But yeah, we're going to need too much power. And yeah, we're already queuing up at 38 minutes in, purple signs. So yeah, you'll see these huge power blocks get stuck down, like you need tons of this stuff. So if you want to work alone, or you have a friend and you're like, look, we want to win a Bite Battles together, a game together, I'd pick a thing that you can do that's really going to help your team, like power or walls. And that's correct. Enkling, by the way, one of the best captains in the game. He plays from the Southeast Asia, so that's miles away. But yeah, also somebody to bounce ideas off of. It makes a very good point. Take only what you need. So what I wouldn't advise is coming into the main base and grabbing everything here, because everything that's being generated here is to build up this space. So what I would argue is you need to kind of create your own mini base. As you can see here, like Neuro has got random sushi smelting. There's no control to this. You just get what you get. And then he's filtering his plates out and he's making his own items so that he's not burdening main base by stealing their stuff. He's creating his own. It takes a little while to set up, but it's really good and useful. He's even making grenades. Just in case the bugs come here, he's got some defensive items that he can use too. So yeah, or failing that, if you just want to kill stuff and play Helldivers too, then yeah, if I'm threat farming and somebody offers to help me, I'm always going to say yes. 100% going to say yes. you know? At the moment, the North have one person doing this, but sometimes there's teams of like 5. I've been in games where it's almost 100 players in the server, right? 50 people on North, 50 people on South. I would love a team of 10 threat farmers. Can you imagine? Guys, the bugs don't end as well. They're not just here. They're like all this darkness up here and down here are bugs. So like, if you can have 10 people spread out across this front line, just like blowing the bases up and shoving them back, perfect. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, I think offer yourself out. And don't be shy, like try and talk to people. You'd be surprised. People are very, very friendly in the community, but they are nerds, obviously, and they can be very particular about builds. The one thing I would say, and you guys know this from playing automation games, is that some people have a way they like doing things and they do not want to compromise. It doesn't make them weird. They just have like, this is how I build power. Please don't fuck with it. Power works if I build it like this. You might have a different way of building power, like this, for instance. But if you're in South and you're in North and you see power going down like this, just build it like that. Don't cause internal arguments like, oh no, dude, it's more efficient. If they're doing this, just run with it. Because remember, guys, we're against the clock. The other team they're working hard to beat us. And as you can see now, the North have some exclusive. They're so fast. They've managed to lock in some exclusive research, so they are slightly ahead in terms of the research game. They have their sulfur, they have their blue. They have cars and batteries and all the trains. Hello, they have trains as well. We love a train. Also, by the way, guys, I'm forming a special operations unit called the Locos. I have a badge and everything made up, and we will be test playing some new defensive meta stuff in the not too distant future. So, if you want to be part of an experimental unit, feel free to message me on Discord because I've got some ideas. You are responsible for your item. Yeah, correct. You are correct. Yeah. So, for instance, you could come over here if you're on the South and grab all of these belts, and no one's going to tell you not to. But if you empty a mall out, let's say you pick out thousands of items, you're not able to place all of them all at once anyway. So it doesn't really make any sense. You need to kind of take what you need, but just barely. And any effort that you make, anything that you do in the game should feed back into your team. The worst thing that can happen, and it won't happen today, but let's say, for instance, Just Bob, he is a veteran player, but let's just say, for instance, let's say Just Bob is a new player. He starts a base, oh, my door's going. Oh, one sec, guys, my doorbell's going. Apologies about that. I have got a Amazon package arrive for a neighbour who can't take a package, so I need to. Can somebody remind? I'll try and remind myself, but at the end of the stream, I might need to remind myself to go next door and deliver this thing. Sorry, where were we? Oh yes, so Just Bob could come over to an area of the map and build like a mini base, but if he doesn't do anything for his team, there's no point in him coming out here. This isn't a sandbox. If you want to play normal Factorio, load up a save and do that. But everything that you do here and now affects you here and now. So, using this iron patch, if you don't make the most of it, that could have gone into this build, for instance, or it could come over here. I like Marek, by the way, great power builder. This guy always just jumps in, does power. This is the guy. And when we pick teams, and as you can see, there's a list of names on North and South. There's a reason why we pick certain players, because they have certain playstyles. For instance, Carl builds main base. So if I'm Califerbopbop as a captain, and I played a lot of games in the server, and you need to have played a fair amount to know who these people are, you'll pick Carl early. Because Carl, as you can see now, is smashing out the main... Look at that. Smashing out the main base. 40 minutes into the game, we've got blue and we're about to build military. So the first 4 levels of science in the first 40 minutes of the game, they're not only being built, but they're being thrown into labs and fed really nicely. So, if you want a main base builder, you pick someone like Carl. If you want a threat farmer, you pick somebody like Zero-Sun. Zero-Sun can probably build main, but if you have a choice between the two, I'd put Carl here and I'd put Zero-Sun against the bugs. Meanwhile, obviously Blitzy, team comedian, so you need a team comedian to keep the mood up, keep the vibes up. They're not really that effective, they don't do a huge amount, but they're good to have around, They're good to keep around for comic effect. Let's do, so we're almost an hour into the game. So what I want to do is I want to zoom out real quick, and we'll just work around the map, north and south. We'll just work around clockwise, and we'll see what's going on. So give me a sec, guys. I'm going to have a bit more coffee, and then we'll get to that. So, starting on north, at the top of our clock at 12, we have a threat farming base that are building grenades, smelting a bit of steel down. As you can see, they're building cars as well, with a couple of backup cars. This is because eventually you will lose one, so it's always worth having a spare, otherwise the bugs will run you down. And it appears to me as though we have some huge green chip production. So, it appears to me like Califerbopbop here is making the most of this sushi smelting, taking a little bit of everything, throwing it randomly into, furnaces, and he's creating enormous amounts of green chips. The reason for this is that you need green chips to make red chips to make blue chips, and blue chips build rockets. And obviously rockets are, that's a game win. If you can get to a rocket, you've not winning the game, but you're kind of closing in on a win, basically. So this is a rocket race, if you can get there, if the opposition is slow. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. Green chip production off of sushi smelting. Normally a patch like this would be ignored, but good question. Actually, really good question, inappropriate innuendo. And you know what? Over the last couple of streams, nobody's really asked it, so thank you, because I get to fill a gap in here. So, in the ocean, in the river, in the lake, you'll see fish. These little black pods are fish, effectively. What you need to do is fish them out of the river, and they'll appear in your hotbar here. Fish. We use them to heal ourselves, obviously. If you have them equipped and you right-click, you'll heal yourself. But also, in the left-hand side of your screen, there is a button that is fish, effectively. Fish are used for scouting, and scouting is a very important tool. So as we can see everything on the map, if you're in the north, you won't see all of this stuff. A lot of this stuff is hidden behind the fog of war. So you have to make an educated guess, or at the right moment, scout. So if I'm on the north, let's say for instance I'm Carl, and this is going fast. I like this. We're making red chips, we're making blue signs, and we think we're in the lead, right? And I ask my captain, I'm like, okay, right, we've got levels 1 to 4 in the labs. We're researching. Do we now push for a rocket, or do we expect the south to be ahead of us, and now do we defend? So like, do we go on and expose ourselves to being attacked, but we go through the science and we research our technology tree a bit more, or do we turtle up and expect an attack? And I say, if I'm Carl, I'm like, hey guys, I need someone to fish. So someone will come down here, they'll go to the river, they'll grab like 100 fish, and they'll click on that fish button, giving you a certain amount of vision in the map. So all of this will be in fog. You won't see any of this stuff hidden away. And so as they scout, and you'll see this, by the way, if you watch any of the games on my YouTube channel, if you watch me playing the game, you'll see me scouting at very specific times, right? And I've never actually spoken about this. I don't know if I really want to tell you guys this or not, because anybody that wants to do any level of studying in terms of my games, they're all out there. You can check out my games. I'm not hiding it. There are certain timings in the game that a team should be at a certain position at that time. It's different for every game mode, it's different for every difficulty, but at the 45-minute mark, if I'm scouting, let's say I'm on the north and I'm scouting the south, and I see this, I know that they're pushing for purple, I know where they're going with their build, right? It's normally in the fog of war, so I use my fish and I scout. I look at their threat farmer and I see what they're up to, and I'm like, okay, this is dangerous. If I allow this to carry on, we might be in some issues here if I'm on the north. So potentially I talk to my captain, and if I am the captain, and I say, guys, what do we want to do? Do we want to let them keep playing like this and potentially beat us, or do we want to have some counterplay? And then we can come up with a plan to counterplay. I think there's a game on my YouTube. I'll dig it out for the end of this the video, or I'll put a link to it in YouTube if people are watching this on YouTube afterwards, of a game where you'll see me constantly. I'll threat farm for 20 minutes, I'll come back to my base, and I'll quickly just scout, scan, back to threat farming. 20 minutes later, scout, scan, look at power, find the uranium patch, look at uranium. Are they mining it? No. Right, so if they're building lasers and they're not mining uranium, they're going to be fucked for power later. Or they're late on their uranium research at 45 minutes in, meaning that even if they get a reactor up, we could potentially crowbar them out of their position by sending, right? Throwing their bugs up to 25% evolution forces them to begin to use their lasers to defend, and they might not have the power for that. And so there's some really fun, and you need to play the game a lot. You need to understand the kind of intricacies of the game, but I really thank you for the question, mate. Scouting is a really important part because we see everything here. And it's great, you know. I want to zoom in on what they're doing over here. I can do that. However, if you aren't able to, or if you don't actually know what the opposition are doing, you're blind. So a good captain will always have in the back of their mind, they'll always have something like a plan of the enemy team, right? You said you played League of Legends, right? So there are some junglers that can gank at level 2. I think I'm a Dota player. I've played a bit of League. I didn't enjoy it, but you'll kind of get the analogy or the way I'm going with this. So there are some junglers that gank at level 2, and they can get a kill at level 2. They take red buff or they take blue buff, and they go straight to gank. And there are some heroes that, if they don't take flash, they're gankable. So yeah, champs that can go through walls and stuff, right? So if I'm playing the game and I know there's a champion on the map that can gank at level 2, I'm fucking worried about getting ganked level 2, right? But what happens if they don't do that? What happens if somebody picks a playstyle that should be aggressive and they don't play aggressive? That has me worried, right? Either they don't know what they're doing or they're counterplaying me. They're wasting it. Exactly. Perfect. Yeah, that's that. You're right. They're wasting it, right? So either they're an absolute genius and they figured something out that nobody has ever seen before and nobody's ever done before, so they're literally innovating, and we do see innovation. This is the kind of game mode where we see innovation all the time. Probably they're terrible, but until I see them being terrible, I can't guess. So if I'm on the north, I don't see anything on the south, and then I hit scout and I see this, they might not be going for nuclear research. You know, they might think that the South might believe they have enough power they can build down here to beat us. They might ignore this entirely, and if that's the case, then maybe potentially they might have lasers closer than we think. So it's a big one. Like, you need to always have a read of what they're doing. You're never going to see everything. You're never going to get a full exposure of the map, but you can get, one thing I would say, guys, scout and have a look at their power. Literally, like, look at their engines. Is coal making all the way to the end? It's such a simple thing, right? But you don't get to check their power systems. But if you don't see them feeding their power correctly, or if you see them have their power not even turned on, it might be worth sending. It might be worth getting their bugs to 20% and say, hey man, stick some lasers down, let's see them not work. Because lasers are really expensive, and the moment you start losing them, they're really expensive to replace. So I'm just saying that there's ways around. Obviously, today's game and today's game mode, and again, very good question. Why wouldn't you send all the time? That's a good question. So, building science is difficult to do and resource intensive. The early game science is easy to build, so it's not that resource intensive. However, sending blue science compared to, for instance, yellow, I mean, people have run the numbers, and it makes more sense if you can get there. And again, you need to be able to get your team to that point. If you can get to purple or yellow signs, they give you more reward. So sending 500 blue compared to sending 100 yellow, you'd always argue that the later game signs does more. It's harder to get, but it's worth approaching that. Is this guy trolling again? Like, I keep seeing this guy pop up every now and again, and it has me slightly worried here. So you can send all the time though, and I've played games where I have told somebody to be an absolute goblin. So let's say, for instance, the game has just begun. Let's forget what's happening right now in the game. I'm on the south, and I am Tim, right? No, sorry, I'm captaining, and Tim is on my team. And I say to Tim, I don't want you to do anything other than I want you to build a base over here, or wherever you want to, but build a base over in here, away from main base, and send everything you make. Build 50 red jugs and send them straight away. Build 100 military science. I don't want to see a single moment in the chat where you're not sending science, because I want the opposition to have the temperature increase on them too fast, too much. So, I want you, and you're the guy doing that, right? You're the guy with your hand on the flame, and you're turning up the temperature just a little bit, right? 100 red jugs will do nothing. In fact, we'll calculate it right now, right? Let's say 100 red jugs go to the north. The threat increases by 0.6%, but you can build 100 red jugs really quickly, And once you send 100, you can build another 100 really quickly. So if every minute you can send 0.6 of an increase, after 10 minutes, you've increased their strength by like 3 to 8 to 4%. So it's not really a gentleman's agreement. It's kind of like a staring contest. Because if they start doing it, you need to respond. So it's kind of like an arm wrestle where you're both kind of mid-winning. So you're both forced into the middle and nobody's forcing another person over. But what we see here is whoever's aggressive first, a lot of the time doesn't win. Yeah, it's whoever flinches first. And I think that, and again, Enkling made a great point earlier, sorry, and I will get to this. The North are quicker with their research. They have research ready to go that the South have yet to move on. So the North are quicker than the South at the moment. It doesn't mean the North are winning, but they have access to purple. They can build purple right now. If they wanted to, they could build 10 random... Let's go and do it. Let's do the math, sorry. Let's send 10 purple jugs to the South. Because you can build 10 pretty quick. I mean, a 5% increase in the bugs for 10 jugs. So if you send 10 purple jugs right now to the South, they have to fight 12% strength bugs. And that's kind of worth it. Now, 10 is obviously nothing. You probably want to send a couple hundred, but yeah, you kind of get where I'm going with that, right? You want the stronger signs to do the most damage. I know 10 purple did more than 100 red, but it's harder to get. Harder to get. I'm going to mix the music up, guys. Do we have any kind of suggestions for music? I stuck on some funk just now, but I'm willing to take suggestions. I also have an AI assistant, so I can type a prompt in to my music library, and it can give me prompts. So I might not do it today, but certainly for the final, I think I'm going to come up with a prompt. I'm going to stick on some house. No, I'm not. I'm going to stick on some disco, because we just need to chill, you know. Oh no! Damn, Jeffro. Let me try and undo that for you, mate. I definitely pass. If you've got any links, mate, send them to me on Discord. Apologies, I should have said that earlier. I only said it once, but I need to remind myself. Let me try and unban you real quick. Sorry, mate. The reason why we have the reason why we're hot on that is at the beginning of me streaming. Sorry, Jeffro just got timed out for 300 seconds. Let me work in the background and try and undo that for you, mate. If not, apologies. When I first started streaming, I'd get lots of people posting links in chat, and it were like malicious links, and click here for free Bitcoin, and obviously it's all malicious. So yes, yeah. So I have like a zero tolerance, and it's an auto bot. So I didn't ban that guy. They saw a link, and it send it to me on Discord. If you have me on Discord, ping me a message on Discord. And lastly as well, guys, nobody in this chat should ever ask for any passwords, so please don't think, don't bow down to it. We can all do better. Somebody just got timed out, mate, and I'm trying to find out how to untime out them. So yeah, apologies, guys. Let me just follow Zero Sun real quick, and I'll see if I can untime out. His name's Jeffro. He's been asking questions in chat. Can you, mate? Oh, you legend, thank you. He's been asking questions in chat. He's a new player, so I think what's happened is I think he's posted a link to a music playlist, and I think that naturally is triggered. Thank you, mate. RJD, I just want to give a massive shout out to RJD, my first moderator, an absolute legend, and thank you again, mate. Helps me out with predictions, helps me out with all sorts. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's all good. So if you join the Bite to Battles Discord, not saying you have to, but I should be ghosty in. I'll type into general now. Yo. So yeah, I've just posted a message in general chat. Message me from there onto, and I'll pick up the link and all that. It's fine, mate. You haven't done anything wrong. I just have it really strict on links, mostly because you know what it's like. People have people try and steal passwords and hackers and all. I don't. We can all be smarter in that respect too. So yeah, ping me the link. I'll take a look. I can't guarantee I'll play it today, but definitely for future broadcasts, I can kind of have a look at it and make sure that it's good, and then I can play it forward. So yeah, definitely, mate. I'm always down for different kind of music tastes as well. So we've done all sorts. I think there was one time we got to the end game where one base was being sieged, and we put on some battle music. Battle music went hard, mate. Or was it Viking battle music as well? Yeah. Oh god, yeah, no, I've had that as well. Click here for 10,000, like what? Can you imagine, just bear with me on this one, but can you imagine if we had 10,000 viewers? It would be so hard to talk to people. I worry sometimes, like, again, our channel, this channel here is not massive, and I'm glad it's not enormous. Like, I'd struggle, mentally it would annoy me if I missed people's questions. Because I think what makes this really interesting and a fun thing to do and to stream is because someone will have an idea or a question and we'll talk about it together. Like, we'll literally just... Perfect. Yeah, I'll check it out, mate. I'll check it out. And again, yeah, of course, yeah, I would also get banned from Twitch, promoting that kind of stuff, which again, so far, touch wood, I have 0 flags on my account and I want to keep it that way. So, yeah, so just a little side note there. It's one of those ones where... I wouldn't know what to do with like thousands of viewers. I genuinely would feel bad for missing people's questions. So I joke about, getting sponsored and having big links and yeah, it's fine, mate. Hairy bald, I've seen hairier, don't get me wrong. So we try and keep things on a level, And again, I think so far, the last couple of years of streaming, I think we've done well, I'm proud of the community that we've got, the people that tune in. Sometimes we won't see somebody for a couple of years. I haven't even talked about rugby today, guys, and the Six Nations is on right now. I mean, yeah, pot noodles. It has been a while, actually, since I've had a pot noodle, not gonna lie, If there's any competitors out there that might want to tempt me over, I might be tempted. Oh, do you know what I mean, though? You're right, Dander. You are correct, mate. I would worry, sometimes, like... You see people like Onipixel do Counter-Strike and with like 20,000 people watching, or like the Burnt Peanut and there's like 50,000 people. Now he might find one like message out of the thousands that come in, but like the amount of people trolling and like arguing with each other and stuff, like it's crazy, dude. Oh, Jeffro, yeah, dude, I'm happy to adopt you, mate. I think there'll be loads of people that'll be happy to play with you, 100%. I was going to mention this at the end of the stream, but we're also playing, so between the Easter time and the summertime, and I'll mention this more at the end in detail, but I'm going to be playing lots of different kinds of Factorios. So I've got a Mega Base build at the moment, we're doing Pianodons, we're going to do K2, Industrial Revolution, Water Block. Like basically I just want to have multiple runs. So like Monday is like, Mega Base, Tuesday is like Pianodons, Wednesdays, and we just have one thing every day that we do. And then on the weekend, obviously, Biter Battles. So yeah, Jeffro, 100%, mate. More than happy to. And you know what, from talking to you now, mate, you seem like the right kind of person. I think you found something today. Maybe you weren't expecting to find it, but I'm glad you did. Because this game is very unique. It's very difficult. When you lose, it can be crushing, but when you win, I promise you this, mate, when you get your first win on this game, and at the moment, I say I have probably like thousands, I guess, but it's special, mate. It's hard to win a game. So hard to win a game, And again, think about this, right? There's 23 people on a team of Factorio. Think about that. How many times have you had friends that you play Factorio with where there's like 3 of you, and then like 2 or 3 weeks in, there's like just one guy playing the game, right? You can play a full game of Factorio all the way to Rockets within an hour and a half with 20 other people. It's kind of mega, mate. It's so good. And as well, and you'll know this because you'll have seen them typing into chat, people like Abascotti and Enkling and RJD, like we all play this game together. There's been times where we've all been on the same team. So you'll get to know these people, mate. They're great people, honestly. Carl is a very specific, efficient German player of the game, but he's very friendly. And the tournament that we're playing at the moment, he organised. And I want to say this as well, just lastly, whilst I finish my coffee off, it's all based off volunteers, guys. Everybody that's an admin, everybody that is building the tournaments, the 1v1 stuff that we do, the team v team, the events where we have speedrunners versus the server, like, it's all based off of people that just love the game. It's all our free time. I'm not getting paid to be here. Nobody's sponsoring me. I know that you get a little bit of ad revenue and Prime subscriptions, but like, if it was free, I'd still do it. I don't do it for the money. I do it for the love of doing it. So, yeah, if anybody out there that is the admin or that's moderating or that's helping move this forward, people doing, like we have people building this kind of stuff. These menus, this is all new. This is all new to us. It hasn't been in the game for more than 12 months. Somebody took their time out of their day to make this happen. They love this so much. No spoilers. Oh no. Can we talk about the Italy game? Because it was Italy's game. I know Ireland were in the game, but it didn't seem like they were for much of it. And sorry if any of you guys, I'll scan around the map, but fucking hell, mate. Tell me there's no cards, Clyde. I just don't want any yellow or red cards. It just ruins games. And England-Scotland is always low scoring, so I really hope it's a close game. I kind of need England to win, man. Fantasy points and all that jazz. But yeah, dude, Italy played so well. There is oh no. The England team got a red belt. Oh god. Yeah, I do know. High tackle probably. It's happening more often than not. Damn, dude. Fuck, red card. And the thing is, away. I know that the Scottish team haven't been playing particularly well, and Gregor Townsend's job is kind of under threat. But you know, Scotland, they can do you. You know, they can. And against England, like. Oh, how good was Italy's scrum, by the way? Holy shit. Simone Ferrari, take a bow. He folded up the opposition prop. I haven't seen a front row get lifted in the air like it's a line out in a long time. And they lined out, or lined up, or raised up the opposition front row often, mate. That's a hard thing to do, man. Like, when a prop is that powerful, they can take you off your feet. Fucking hell, man. That is... I really like what I'm seeing from Italy. They deserve to win today, but it looks like when they made their replacements, Ireland just had a solution to the problem. So you can't fault them for it. Do you know what I mean as well, mate? Tadhg Furlong, like an actual British and Irish lion, an absolute mammoth of a human being. And he just got lifted up like he was a toy. He just got lifted up and thrown around. Like the guy's like 20 stone, like 140 kilos, and he just got lifted up. Italy, I think, do you know what though? Italy are having a great tournament. And if they'd won today, I think they would have had one of the best ever. But so far, I think, you know, beating Scotland, I think they do Wales, I'm not going to lie. I just want them to be competitive against England and France. And I think you can say right now that they are poised for the next World Cup. They're ready to go for the next World Cup. But yeah, dude, I was so on the edge of my seat. Did you notice how much they were fighting at the end? You know, at the end of the half, they were scrapping. Like, Ireland were not happy that they were getting bullied. And you could see, man, the visible frustration on their faces was palpable. When will they make defence? Good question. As somebody writes down power on the ground. At the moment, the meta is to not build a castle right away. So it's a little bit more nuanced than that. But I think the easiest way to explain it simply, without going into like the detail and the numbers, and I'm happy to talk offline about the detail and the numbers because there's a lot of stuff that I'm brushing over that is kind of the meat and bones of the corpse we're dissecting. The meta now is to not defend with physical defenses, it's to defend with movement. So it's about putting people in front of the bugs and kiting them. Now again, we haven't seen strong bugs appear. I think by the time we get to the next 30 minutes in the game, we should see Ascend. But effectively what we're seeing is the poison capsule meta and the slowdown capsule meta. And this is perfect because I can actually go into detail as to how we defend now. And I'll use Happy Factory as an example, but I'll pull up my MS Paint tools and I'll explain very quickly what we do. So there are a couple of different phases and stages of threat farming. Stage 1. Imagine I'm at university right now and I'm giving a lecture. So bear with 1 second. Okay. I'm a level 1 threat farmer and I want to threat farm this side of the map. Orange is not the right colour, but we'll go with it for now, right? So my team want me in this area and they want me fighting bugs, and that's my job, right? I'm a level 1 guy, I have a pistol, I have all of my hopes and dreams in my pockets, but I am going to come into this area and basically my job is to run in. A load of bugs will aggress onto me, so they're going to come into this area, and then what I do with my gun is I run out of the area, and as I'm running backwards I shoot the bugs. Level 1, basic as anything, you don't need any investment into that at all. Anybody can do it, and the bugs are easily kiteable. As you can see here in the top of our screen, Happy Factory is quicker than the bugs and he can outrun them. That's level 1. Level 2, we have a car now, or maybe we're just a little bit more advanced. What we need to do is, instead of just running in and out of the bugs, I'll use blue as an example now, we run in and a pack of bugs aggresses onto us, and we continue, because we have heavy armor now, to run in circles effectively until we get into such a compressed environment where the bugs are on top of us and we cannot move, and then in the circle we throw a grenade directly at our feet, and that detonates anywhere between 50 to 100 bugs at our feet. And that costs 1 grenade. Now 1 grenade is very, very cheap. As I go into the game now, you can see all we need to make that happen is coal and an iron plate, and we can kill, and you'll see it happen here. Like, there are pockets of bugs here where somebody's grouped them all up together and just thrown a grenade at the ground, killing them all off. That's level 2. Level 3, I don't need to necessarily draw, but as you can see here, Coffee Owl has poison capsules in their inventory, and by spreading out poison mist on the ground, any bugs that come into contact with them will die. So as you can see here, yeah, bugs on the poison mist, they die. At 8%, they die instantly. Later on, they can survive this poison gas. So, level 4, base defense. Hell yeah, this is where I made my money. This is where I got infamous, I don't know, famous, infamous, I don't know how you call it, but this is where I earned my money. So, in the olden days, back in my day, what colour do I use for this? I guess I go white. Let's just imagine this straight line is our wall. Oh, the mist lasts around about 15 seconds. And you can stack mist on top of itself. So you can put 10 mists in the same spot and it'll do 10 times the damage. There's also kind of a niche thing to that as well. But so let's just imagine this wall is our wall. You know, it's 10 thick, it's massive, and behind it we have a load of defensive structures. So behind this we have our laser turrets and our flamer turrets, and what their job is to shoot over the wall, hit the bugs, and all the bugs can do is reach our wall, but they can't reach our defenses, so they just crash into our wall and then die. And effectively we have like a kill zone in front of the wall. The way that I made my money, so here this circle denotes like a kill zone. Over the top of the wall we'll have like our lasers firing in, you know, like a big row of lasers firing their lasers in. Any bugs come into this area, they die. Again, this wall is something we want all around our base, but I'll just focus on this one particular area for now. What we used to do in the olden days, back in my day, was we would have a wall that was designed in such a way that would break up packs of bugs. So we would have patterned walls. I'm honestly doing this all by freehand, guys, so apologies. But we would have patterns built into the wall that would break bugs up. So defensively, like designing a wall and a base is very important, and it's very niche, right? So the idea here, and again, I'll explain what I'm doing at the moment, because it looks like a madman is just drawing on the screen, and fair enough. A pack of bugs will come towards your defenses. Let's say, for instance, they just hit a shoulder of our base. So they hit this left-hand shoulder. They then fragment off. Behind our wall, by the way, is all of our defensive structures, so don't worry about all that. We'll get into what would sit behind here for now. But just imagine here now, a pack now splits in two, and they hit this little area of walls, and they start to break up and unform. So when bugs attack, they form packs. And what we need to do is create a structure where they break that pack up, and we can start attacking the bugs individually. Once we can attack an individual bug, we can just DPS them down. It sounds like I'm not making a lot of sense right now. Trust me, when we get to it, and I'm not going to go too far beyond that explanation now because the bugs aren't strong enough to group. When Ascend happens, and again, we're starting to see the endgame sciences be researched, so we're not far away from seeing Ascend happen. Guys, I tell you this now, when it happens, it's not long from that big send happening to the end of the game, and you all have been here, you'll have seen this throughout the tournament. There will be millions, right? Millions of bugs. Million. At the moment, we have thousands of them. Negative thousands, but, you know, negative 10,000, 20,000. When a big send happens, there can be 5 million bugs on this side of the map alone. Now, I don't know about you, but how fast do you think 5 million bugs at 90% plus will take to devastate this map? And how do you think you defend that? You have to use movement. If we're not building walls, we need to move around the bugs, grab them magnetically in our kind of net, in our sphere, because as we know, the bugs kind of focus on players first. So the bugs will always gravitate towards fighting you before they fight buildings. So later on in the game, what we need effectively, if we're defending for our lives, and again, nobody wants to play for 2 hours and just watch it all burn. You know, people are going to get in the way. They're going to have to kind of fight for their survival. We will see people grab landmines are banned. There's a weird interaction they have. So there's a couple of items that just don't work for the scenario, and landmines are one of them. I think the other one is there's like a rocket type, and I think there's something with it, the coding of it, that just really fucks with this. I don't quote me on that. I know for sure landmines are banned, and there's one other item that we cannot have in the game because it just breaks the game effectively. Here we go. Perfect. As I was speaking about walls on the south, on the north, we have them up here. This is a 4 or 5 thick wall. That's pretty good to start with. And we have a blueprint now where we have layers of lasers, power poles to make sure that if one pole goes down... Oh, artillery, yes. Yeah, artillery is banned as well. This is a defensive setup that the North are going to employ. And they're going to build this all the way around their base. That's not even close to enough. I promise you now, Jeffro, if you're here to the end of the game, this isn't even a third of what they're going to need. Now, again, the bugs are weak, and they're brown shells. But, yeah, later on, mate, you're going to need about triple, if not quadruple, this many lasers. And we talked about this earlier on, that we have big bases happening around us, right? Look how big Maine is now. I haven't been here for a while, so I'll scan through. But, you know, this production is enormous. You know, we already have yellow going into labs as well, meaning that we have those endgame technologies available to us. So the North are researching. They've gone through some shooting speeds and damage on their lasers. We did... Oh, God. Do I want to... Should I talk to you about some lore? I'll talk to you about some lore. So we had a game where we enabled artillery for both teams. And the idea was that you could only put your gun in certain spots, but you could fire over to the enemy team. One player took... His name was FTNS. We haven't seen him since. And his base got artilleried. I mean, we were playing an artillery game. Your base could potentially get artilleried, and he got artilleried. And he went on what could arguably be a legendary rant in Discord at us. We were all woke, tranny-loving, something or other. I cannot remember exactly, but he went on a tirade for about 5 minutes to everybody, how we were all basically Hitler, and we ruined his day and his game. And it was because we hated him intrinsically. Not that we weren't playing an artillery, we were playing an artillery game. If you swim in water, you're going to get wet. If you play biter battles, your base can be destroyed. It will happen. Like, it never doesn't happen. He got so upset that he went on this. To this day, it's legendary. You'll find it in the archives. Somebody has archived it. A rant that could end all rants. He used every racial slur you could possibly imagine. And it was a testament to why we don't put up with stuff like that. You can be upset about losing, but you shouldn't take it personally. It's not... Nobody's doing it because they hate you. You know, nobody's playing against you because, oh yeah, fuck this Vortex guy. Yeah, I hate this guy. I'm going to play on North, and when he loses, I'm going to message him in Discord and be like, ha ha ha, fuck you. Nobody's like that. And if you are like that, grow up. Come on, it's a video game. We play because the game is hard, right? I want to play a difficult game. If you're on the enemy team and you're a good player, I want to play against you. I don't want an easy game. The reason why I ended up streaming was because I was playing captain's games and captaining games where it was a free win. And I realized that the only way that I was going to enjoy the game anymore was to take myself out of the game. I was playing to a point where it was a guaranteed win. And that wasn't fun for me anymore. That sounds like such a dickhead thing to say. And obviously I'm very humble with how legendary I am, but some of you guys remember that. It was about 2 years ago. I played for 8 months and didn't lose a single game as captain. 8 months, 16 weeks. No, more than that. Fucking hell. Terrible maths, that. Don't do maths like that. But you know what I mean? Like, every weekend I'd come in, I would be North or South captain, I'd have an entire enemy team against me, and it was the way that... and I've spoken openly about this. I've said this before. The way that you win a game like this is you get the right experience in your team. You pick people like Carl, you pick people like Pavev, you pick people like Blitzy, you pick people like Jimmy, but it's how you use your new players, right? Let's take a look on North and South, right? On the South, Tim to me is a new player. You can look at our stats website to know whether they're new or not. But people like Tim, Shabao, Nizzy, for instance, they eventually will get picked. People like Jeffro, for instance, when Jeffro plays his game, you're going to be on a team one day, right? A good captain will make sure that you're busy and that will make sure that you see what you do and that it's good for you, right? The reason why, and I shit you not, guys, the reason why I won as a captain was because I just talked all the time. Jeffro, mate, how can I help you? All right, you're with me and you, we're going to do oil, right? So let's lap down the blueprint, let's make it happen. And you can see the product of your work. You know, imagine spending an hour doing something and you have nothing to show for it. Jimmy50 shouts power. Have they already got power problems? They do. Oh, let me turn chat off real quick. Guys, look over here. Power is yellow. Damn. So what are... Oh, guys. And there you go, Jimmy50. Everybody get on power until it goes green. And there you go. That's an example of... He looks like he's shouting, but he's scared that he's now going to start losing the game, basically. If you're not working at max power, everybody stop doing what you're doing. Stop threat farming, build power. I like it. You know, I like it. I wonder where. It's because this hasn't turned on yet, right? Or this isn't being fed correctly. Damn. So weaponize your new players, bring them in. Eventually, that person, that individual, Nizzy for instance, right? I don't think they're new, but let's just take Nizzy as an example. This could be a future tournament-winning captain. They're just new to the game mode, right? Jeffro could be a future captain's first pick, right? He could literally be the future Ronaldo of our game mode. Like, don't just ignore them just because they're new, right? You just bring people in, you know, talk to them, ask them questions. And with that, you'll bring them in and bring them on. They'll feel welcome. They'll want to play with you. You know, the last thing you want to do is have somebody on your team and you don't want to talk to them because you don't like them, or there's some weird vibe between you. Like, nah, dude, ignore the vibe. Chat it out. Also, as well, for the long form games, bring energy. The one thing you can do, and I coach sports in my free time, so I'm a qualified coach of a couple of different sports. I also played sport to a very high level as well, and I know this for a fact, guys. It takes nothing to bring the energy, and it is so valued because, you know, if I jump into a game and everybody's like not talking to each other, and you get into Discord and like, hey guys, who needs help, and nobody answers back, the first thing I want to do is try and correct that vibe. Make a joke, you know, help somebody. Just go over and look at whoever's struggling the most, right? And I say this every week, guys, and I mean this, and I mean it in life as well as like in game. Do not suffer in silence. Ask for help. You will not be seen as a lesser individual if you put your hand up and say, I'm struggling here. This is difficult. I'm struggling in doing this, or I don't know what I'm doing. Please ask for help. Trust me, there are a lot of people that are too proud to do it, and they are struggling in silence, and they don't have to be. So PSA, IRL, some of you are younger than me. I am an older gamer. I'm an ancient gamer compared to many of you youngsters, but it doesn't make you less of a man asking somebody to help you. Okay, that is an old way of thinking. It is a toxic way to think. Do ask for help, mate. Trust me. For like mental health, you'd be surprised who will be willing to help you. Help you solve a problem, help you get out of a situation, help you with something that's difficult. Like, do it. Ask for help. And in-game, if you're struggling, let's say, for instance, I say to Jeffro, hey, mate, we have all bases covered. You've just joined the game. Can you build a nuke? And because you want to be helpful, you go, yeah, mate, I'll build the nuke. 100%. Yeah, let's go and do that. But it gets to the point where you've got your ore, but you need to build the parts. And building the parts is kind of slow because it's all recipes that you don't really know, and you need more copper, but you know, you're just one person. Like, please, if you're my teammate, tell me you're struggling. I will help you. I will stop what I'm doing and I will come and help you 100%. And if I can't do that, trust me, I will find some people that can go and help you solve your problem. You should not struggle alone. It's 2026. Ask for help. Serious. It's important that you do, because you'll be surprised about the people that are not only willing to, but happy to help you get out of that situation. And then all of a sudden that game, which is, you know, your brain is being squeezed by all these problems that you're struggling with, becomes so much easier to play. It's like, oh shit, these three legends like Carl and Neuro and Blitzy came over and helped build my nuke, and now I can go and help them with their shit. And we've got power for the rest of the game, so win-win, right? I know nerds tend not to, but yeah, I mean, I grew up playing rugby, and toxic masculinity in rugby is like a given. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people struggle when they shouldn't. Didn't have to. You know, some people enjoy struggling. I don't get that, but yeah, you know, if it's like work or school or life or with friends, like, don't feel. And do you know what, mate? Sorry, I'm ranting here. I don't want to. I'll say one more thing and then I'll can it off for this. But like, if you ask for help and your friends take the piss out of you, they're not your fucking friends. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. If you turn around to somebody who you think has your back and you say, oh mate, I'm feeling a bit depressed, like I don't know what's going on, or I'm a bit anxious, or I'm a bit sad, or I'm a bit lonely, and they the first thing they do is start taking the piss, they're not your fucking friends, man. Do not share shit with them, right? There are people out there that you can have those conversations with, but if the first thing they do is laugh at your pain, get the fuck away from those people. They are not good to be around, right? And trust me, I've wasted time with individuals who just do not respect your personal struggles. Yeah, it doesn't mean they need to know everything about your life, but if the first thing you say is, mate, I'm really depressed, man, I don't know what's going on, work is grinding me down, and they go, oh, you fucking idiot, yeah, fuck you fucking... Nah, sorry mate, I ain't got time for it. Which is why, as we get older, our circles tend to get smaller. You know, we have less friends because the people that we have around us are the people that we want to have around, rather than just everybody, including the idiots. So yeah, trust me on that one. Like, you want, and it's not like, Having a problem doesn't make you a problem, right? Hey, dude, I'm sure, Jeffro, I'm 90% sure that you will make friends here. You know, you seem like a nice enough person, likable person, and you're inquisitive, mate. You know, there's a whimsical nature about you that most people will enjoy playing around. You know, even if you need a few things, you know, gaps being filled or bits of knowledge that you don't know, that's fine. And you're right, Clyde. People like that aren't worth your time. You're right. And your time is precious, man. So just because you have a problem doesn't mean that you are a problem. And just because you bring problems to other people does not mean that you are problematic. Everybody's got stuff going on. Trust me, everybody's got stuff going on. My dogs have got stuff going on because they're currently barking at a door where there's nobody there. Sorry, let me just go and see if... Are they okay? One sec, guys. Sorry, I just need to go and check on my dogs. Woof, woof. Sorry. I try and catch it before it happens, but I think they're just barking at somebody at the door. Let me double check. Let me just double check. Yeah, they're fine. They're absolutely fine. It's like a car decided to park outside and that has set both of them off. Fucking idiots. So, to wrap up my point, and again, I don't speak often about mental health here, but it is important, guys. Everybody has... There are times where it's going to be amazing, right? 2026, there's going to be times where you are going to be flying, everything's going to be amazing. Like, the job you want, you got. The person you wanted to be friends with was, you know, the girl that you wanted to ask out or the boy you wanted to ask out. It's just, everything's working for you and it's amazing. But you've got to remember, if it gets really, really high and things are really, really good, things can also go low too. And you can be in moments where you feel alone or lonely, but you're never alone. You're never alone. And if anybody out there that is struggling, and I mean this, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it, I'm never going to not stop saying this. I would rather speak to you for hours and hours and hours and help you with your problem than you suffer in silence. So if you think you have no one out there to talk to, I will be here to talk to you. Send me a message. I promise you I will get back to you as soon as possible. I've lost a lot of good people in my life to unfortunate... without going into too much triggering detail, like they thought they were too alone, and so they decided being here was too much. So mate, if somebody called me up right now and said, Ghosty, I fucking need you here, like I'm on the edge of a cliff, stream would be over. I'd have to go. And you know, to my better judgment, maybe you know, you shouldn't do that, but you should. You know, there's that famous quote, isn't it? I'd rather spend hours talking to you than a minute at your funeral. And I mean it. I genuinely would. The first death of the run. R.I.P. Catchman. F in chat, guys. Press F to pay respect. Yeah, I would. I'd rather speak to you for hours and hours and hours than spend a single second at your funeral, mate. And even if we don't have anything in common, you know, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. And the storm that you're sailing in, and I've said this before as well, I clipped it up on my YouTube channel, but you know, the storm that you currently find yourself in will ease itself out. It will calm down. So yeah, I'm not going to go too much. Thank you for the follow. Balturok, I appreciate that. I appreciate the follow. Thank you again. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day, mate. I'll leave it there for now. You guys know where I'm coming from on this, and also I think most of you agree. You know, ask for help. You'll get some help. The same way that if you need help in game, you know, people will jump to help you because they want to win. And you'll be surprised, mate. There are more people out there in life that want to see you succeed, that want to see you fail. You know, there are. Trust me. It might not feel like that sometimes. It might feel like the world is against you. But there are more people out there that will smile at your success and be happy for you. Not because they get anything from it, but because you are doing the thing that you are good at doing, that you want to do. Yes, you do. You respawn right here. So you start right at the back of the map. The unfortunate thing when you die, you know, really far into the bugs is you have to do the walk of shame. You have to kind of, you know, you start with nothing, by the way. You respawn here and then you've got to run all the way back just to grab your stuff. So yeah, you do respawn. And yeah, let's get back on topic. Yeah, I kind of meandered there a little bit, but I think you guys know, like, we don't die. Yeah. Blitzy calls it teleporting back to main. Like, I didn't want those items anyway. You got to remember as well, guys, if you don't pick your body up, If you don't pick your body up, then you will lose the items after 15 minutes. So try and get back to your body if you can. But if it's in a difficult place, then you might struggle to do that. I think we're closing in on a rocket, guys. Let's get back into this, the detail of the game. The North have got all of their laser researchers in, minus 1 or 2, so their end game laser research, strength and speed. They're researching the silo, which the South have already got this? Have the South managed to speed up whilst I've been yabbering on? I think I've been yabbering too much, guys. Jabbering. I've been flapping my gums a little bit too much. Oh, dogs, why? They did fix power, yes. Apologies, dogs are barking. The front door was really close to my streaming room as well, so I really worry that it affects the recording of the video. They're fine, by the way. They've had a massive walk today. They've had treats. They're being fed later. So please don't think that the dogs are not living the best life they can. They absolutely are. Oh, God, they won't stop barking. But let's take a look then, because the South have managed to lock in. Now, they're missing a lot of laser research, but they managed to lock in their silo. Interesting. Okay, right, so we're near the end of the game. They're allowed to... I know. Okay, guys, the South. Rocket number 1. If they can put a satellite inside, which I believe they have already, at the 1 hour and 29 minute mark, every single level of science in the game of Factorio, with a team of 20 people behind them, and Arctic as their captain, the South are about to enter the space race. Now, the question is, what does 1,000, as we see the rocket, glide over the map, way past the North Silo, which has nothing in? Have they even begun to fill it? No prod 3s. Dog cam. I've thought about this. The problem is they're so goofy, they're probably trying to eat the camera. I genuinely I've got a very old cat, a 14-year-old cat that sleeps next to me. I think they like the sound of my voice, and also there's a radiator here. And yeah, I've thought about putting cat cam on, but I also don't want to clog the screen up. I also I've recently had this little avatar, this like 3D guy who follows me around, and this is me, by the way, so the tattoos that my guy has, this is who I am. Like, I never wanted to like create an avatar that wasn't anything other than me. So yeah, so this kind of, I think, takes up too much space. Harry Potter vibes. I'll take it, mate. I'll take it all day long. So we saw something historic there. The South have managed to launch a rocket. And the 1 hour and 30 minute mark is pretty good. So a rocket will return 1,000 white science. And if we send that over to the North jump by 72%. I'm a Canadian, bro. Oh, hell yeah, dude. No dude about it. Sorry, mate. Do you know what? I've always wanted to go to Canada, mate. Do you have 3 things that I would love to go and do? So, like, I sorry if that's racist. I don't know if that's like... hockey game. 100% want to go see a hockey game. Like a proper live hockey game. I love it. Skiing as well, mate. Oh my God, skiing. I would love to go out to Canada and ski. It looks amazing. You can't be Canadian if you don't put eh. Okay, tell us if we're being racist, because I don't know. I know there are lots of like idioms and tropes and stuff, but don't like the hockey too much. Yeah, the fighting stuff I don't. I like the fact they let it happen, because the thing is, like, let them fight and then send them off. You know, as long as they're not killing each other and giving each other brain damage, let them do it, because they're blokes. They just want to have a scrap. Egos, yeah. Well, let's see. 3 months in Canada. A much more sugary Canada. Candy. Okay, so at the 1 hour and 32 minute mark, 2 minutes after the first rocket being sent, we have another rocket. Very zesty. Oh, dude, another mod to check out in the midweek streams. Yeah, Clyde. So feel free to, obviously when the game is over, guys, feel free to do what you like. However, I will be speaking for about 5 or 10 minutes about the future runs that we're going to be doing. Warptorio, K2, Pyanodons. If there is a mod in Factorio and a way of playing it, we will be playing a version of that. So I've got a bit of an announcement at the end of the stream, and it's basically like I am going to be streaming more. For any of you guys don't know, I'm getting married very soon. Well, not very soon, but we're saving for a wedding. And what I'm trying to do is save money at the moment. So I don't really want to go out on the weekends and spend money in the pub and going doing things. So the way that I counterbalance my boredom, and my wife works, my fiance, sorry, not my wife yet. She works nights anyway, is I want to stream to keep myself busy. And I think that doing all of the Factorio mods, you know, like K2, Warptorio, etc., is a good way to stay busy and also save money. So I'll be hosting lots and lots of Factorio in the not too distant future. So yeah, the goal here at the moment, the goal is to build up enough white signs to break the North's defense. So at the moment, the South are definitely in the driving seat. They're definitely in the lead. The North haven't yet built a rocket, so the South they have the ability to pressure the North. But I don't know, maybe the North, they're kind of just about getting the defense down at the right time. I think 1.5 hour mark for most games, if you don't have a wall and lasers, you're slightly at a disadvantage. I've never launched a rocket. Oh, mate. I mean, mate, easily within an hour and a half, you can launch a rocket in this game mode. And you know what's interesting? As a new player, I guarantee you that the captain would let you launch this rocket. I know it's a tournament game, but if you were to be on South right now, it's a bit late to join, obviously, but like they would let you fill it up and launch it. It's quite a special achievement, actually, launching a rocket, because you got to think, we start out with nothing. We start out with no automation. We are cavemen, and here we are, an hour and a half into a game, a team of Factorio players, and we're going to space. It's kind of cool, right? I don't know. I think it's really, for me, there are lots of things that are kind of cool in video gaming, and I think that showing the progression of a game at such speed. And we'll go through the data sheet as well. This is all very important data that tells a story that we'll get to down the line. When the behemoths appear, this will tell us who was in the lead. But it seems kind of standard issue. Everything came around about on time. The North were quicker than the South. How is this happening? Hang on a minute. This is weird. The North appear to have gotten to every stage of research faster. Other than purple, which they were late by about 15-16 minutes. And how close are they to their silo? And rocket number 2, just like that. It's blasting off again. The South are churning out rockets. Now, it's only a matter of time before they have, I don't know, let's do the maths. Let's say, 5 rockets is 5,000 white signs, right? If we were to send 5,000 white signs to the North, the bugs become 126% strength. Which is a lot, by the way. Like, they evolve multiple times and they become 100. And it means there'd be 108,000 bugs on the pitch. 5 rockets could be enough to break the North. But then again, if the North aren't building a rocket themselves, the South have an opportunity now to just keep... I mean, look at this, number 3 already. Right? So they don't need to send anything right now. In fact, the North aren't posing any real threat. So why not just get as much white science as you can? And this is where the staring match comes into it that Jeffro was talking about earlier on. The South could send now, but if the North can absorb that send and defend it, then the South are behind. Because what I didn't mention earlier on that I should mention now is that when you send lots of signs all at once, you do more damage. So you can send 1,000 10 times and do 10,000 worth of damage, but it's not the same as sending all 10,000 at once. So they are in a bit of a... They're in an interesting... They're certainly in the driving seat, and I did not think the South would be here. Now, let's take a look at what they've been doing. They've been threat farming all the way through the game. They have a couple of satellite outposts that are building... Here we go. So this is a laser outpost. And they have no idea. Yeah, they don't see anything. So if you're on the South, you don't know if they have rockets or not. You'd have to start scouting. And I can imagine that somebody out there should be scouting the North, right? Somebody should be out there looking for this. And if you see this... As a veteran player, I mean, they're ready to build rockets, but they aren't building them right now, Like, they have everything ready to go. This could be a very close game, although I like the fact that the South have already put 3 into the sky, right? So 3 rockets have already gone up, and the North have yet to build 1. Now, you could argue maybe The North have more stuff. So maybe when they start building, they can just, make 10 really quickly. But we are at the end of the game where, like, how much you make and how fast you can make it really is a determining factor as to whether you win or not. So let's take a scan around. Yeah, dude, the South have no wall. You'd have to defend like an absolute madman. You'd have to kind of, again, these are really small waves, but when the waves appear, you need to kind of find them. You need to kind of hunt. And again, guys, just real quick for anybody that doesn't know, and we'll get to this when it does eventually happen, because it will happen very soon. When the bugs arrive, let me turn this off so I don't need to choose color. When the bugs arrive, they don't just run in one direction, right? So yes, they will run to your main silo. They'll try and kill the game off. But we'll have bugs like roaming around the edges of the map. They flood the map in different directions. So it's very possible that there is a bug wave coming this way that make it all the way to the edges of the map and then filter their way in. They will always come. Their goal in life is to end your existence. So they are coming for this central area no matter what. They're just not very strong right now. When they get really strong, they will plow their way into this spot. So if the South end up having to defend, they have no wall. Meaning they have to physically get in the way of the bugs. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. I'll check out team stats real quick. I just want to kind of see. Okay, so still no building here. And they've slowed down. Interesting, okay. So, they've slowed down. And why is that? Let me have a look at more stats. Boom. Okay. This is an expand. Again, thank you for all the guys that made these bars possible. This is awesome. For streaming wise, this makes explaining the game so much easier. The North have a load of buffered blue chips. You'll need this obviously for a rocket. LDS as well. Oh my god, they have so much stuff ready to go. Dude, the North can crank rockets out. They just haven't started yet. And they're late. So, okay, so what's happened here is the South have made as much as they can, as fast as they can. And now they're trickling parts into the silo. They've made 3 quick rockets, and it appears that the 4th, 5th, and 6th will be slow to build. Meanwhile, on the North, when they start, and again, they beaconed the whole, silo, so all of this will be working quickly. Yeah, dude, they have more than 3 rockets here. They have way, way more than 3. And look at how fast. And this comes back down to both teams have taken a different approach. We saw the South build their smelting lines to the east and work left to right with their labs being here. Meanwhile, the North built their production to the left-hand side, to the west. Both teams have reached the same point with 2 different builds, 2 different playstyles, 2 different understandings of the game. And here we are at the end of the game, or nearing the end of the game. And I think that the North, how do I put this? They have more ammunition in their gun. They have more grenades at their disposal. They have more stuff, but they haven't made it happen yet. So this is rocket number 1, and we'll keep a timer on this because this is really important. We're at the 1 hour and 39 minute mark of the game, and they're about to send their first rocket into space, I believe. Right, I think they've got satellites being produced somewhere. I think. I might be wrong, but this shouldn't stay here forever. Like, the longer this rocket stays in this silo not being sent is a massive problem for the North. So this needs to go up now. It needs to go up 20 seconds ago, but the sooner that can go in the sky, the quicker we can get 2 and 3 and 4. You know what I mean? Like, we can start really sending them into the sky like absolute missiles. And just like that, the South have just sent their 4th one. Sat research isn't finished. Oh no. Okay, right, so here we are. You're right. They're 93% complete, so they're almost finishing the silo, but yeah, that's right. So all they do now is continue to buffer. That's all that's happening now, is that the North effectively are ready to go. Their rocket production is set. Their lines are saturated. I mean, this is a lot. To make blue chips, as you guys know, it takes a lot of production. So to have 700 or 800 sat in a box is massive. LDS is looking healthy as well, and rocket fuel, well, they should have no problem with rocket fuel at all. So yeah, we're fully backed up on rocket fuel. We just need that research. And Jimmy sends, oh, that's massive. Just before the North can even send a single rocket, Jimmy sends 4,000 of their white signs. They don't make another rocket for a while now. That's the most they can do. And the North's bugs, and this is Jeffro, this is where the game really turns on its head. The North now have 117% strength bugs. The bugs have gone from being these little brown shell guys, and they will evolve 3 times two behemoths. And the wall that the North have may not hold. Now 118%, it's... here we go. Now that is a big chunky boy. So now, see these little brown shell guys? Yeah? They're out of existence soon. It will only be green bugs and blue bugs. These are big behemoths, big biters, sorry. These are... It is defendable. It really is defendable. What I worry about... sorry, I say worry. I don't worry about it, but I worry that the wall isn't... You know, all it takes is a wave to kind of crash around your defense. But again, there are 68,000 strength bugs. You need to put people outside of the wall to begin kiting them. However, when they start crashing in, when the waves start hitting the wall, and as you can see now, players are moving up to take defensive effort, Zero Sun straight away in. Boom. Perfect. In fact, this is a great way. So let's follow Zero Sun now. Zero Sun has a task at hand. Beforehand, as you can see, these poison capsules are burning the really weak bugs. But see these big green guys? They're taking no damage. So what Zero Sun is doing, he's grabbing a wave of bugs behind him, and he's pulling them towards the laser wall. What that in turn is doing is forcing the bugs to continue to follow him, but also get hit by the lasers. Now, we'll check in on the power as it goes. Oh, but here, look at the... Oh, no. Yep. For any of you who don't know, this is Biter Battles. Biter is in the title. And power is looking... Ooh, okay, that is not healthy. With some lasers firing, again, this isn't all across the wall, this is one segment of the wall, power is bouncing. It's trampolining. I know, dude, here, these areas here are super vulnerable, super vulnerable. And some of the wall, and again, Marek is doing a hero's job right now because even though the bugs are here and there are thousands of them, he's still like, quickly, slap it down, slap it down, slap it down. Panic, 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 panic. You know, just get some walls down. So we can see some of these bugs have health bars as well. These health barred bugs are bosses. So you don't just kill the little health bar underneath them, that's tanky, chunky bugs. And just as I say that, at the 1 hour and 43 mark, the North have finished their white science. So they can finally create that satellite. They can finally now, after 4 rockets have been built on the South, they haven't built a 5th, so they are slow. If anything, mate, if anything now, and again, oh, look at that. The biters are so strong, they've just carved part of that wall out. Power is so bouncy. Oh, you kind of wish they had some kind of nuclear build. They're going to lose something serious here. Like, yes, the lasers are strong enough now to rebound the bugs, and you can see people are filling in, but there's no nuke. I'm quite sure I haven't seen a build go up. They have the relevant ore, but I don't think they have a nuke build. I'll have to double check. Here we go. So these waves, this proliferation that happens on the edges of the map are the most important parts. The way that you win game. Oh shit. That's main base. Ooh. Oh no. The North are collapsing. It's not game over, but this pack of bugs, if unchecked and untested, will absolutely cruise into the main base. Ahead of them as well, some spitters, bosses. Closing in to the main base. Again, we are only a stone's throw away from that rocket silo we must protect. And as I say that, the North have sent 2 rockets. In the last minute and a half, the North have managed to get 2,000 white signs. If they can hold this now, and they can stop these bugs right here, and again, they're having power problems and their power's about to go down. This is wounding. They don't have power to spare. They're about to win the game. They have more than enough stuff to make more than enough rockets. They're about to create a 3rd one, right? Oh my god. And just like that, Jimmy sends another 1,000 over. He's trying to end the game now. 5 rockets have been produced on the South. Meanwhile, the North are in shambles. You just have to kite these bugs. You cannot kill them. You literally need to kite them around, right? You can win on the North. The North needs to send a small amount of science. There's no wall. They have no defenses here, right? They've gambled that you will be able to be killed off before they can be. So if you can kite these bugs, right, and you can stop these waves from entering into your base, if you can survive at the front and the carnage that exists up here, and you can keep building a rocket, and that's the 3rd one they've made. Here it comes back down. 3,000 white science on the North. How long do you hold? When do you send? And And there it is, 3,000 science goes over. So the South are now dealing with 107% bugs, so about 20% off from the North. Both sides now dealing with behemoths, and it is just survival. Pure survival now. You will not be able to keep alive enough of your base to continue to produce things. Effectively, all you need to do now is put fires out as and when they appear. These bugs are far too big, they're far too strong. And as you can see now, to kill a single bug at the moment, it's a challenge. A pack of them, near impossible. The wall holds though, and has done a good job. So the breakpoint for evolutionary states is 90% for them to turn green, and green is the biggest size. After 90%, everything above that changes their health and their strength. So they become faster, stronger, and hit harder. So we've had games where the bugs have been 500%. The game didn't last very long, you know, and this is utter devastation. I mean, and this is a power block that you cannot afford to lose. They are already struggling, and power is bouncing yellow at the moment. It's oh my god, it's dancing around the yellow marker. Now, again, the South have similar things to contend with, right? This genuinely could be a photo finish. I'm not just saying that to be hyperbolic. As long as the North can kite these waves away from their base. Again, the bugs want to kill players, right? They want to kill players first, and then everything else second. So if you can kite the bugs away, and you can keep this going, right? And you only have so much stuff, right? So they have probably another rocket, maybe a rocket and a half available to them to send. If they turtle up now, maybe the North, through absolute chaos and impunity against the bugs that are currently ravaging parts of their northern flank, the wall, if they can do this, they might win the game. As you can see, everything just turns itself off. Oh no, that's wounding. Into the sky, another rocket goes. The North are built for, power is red. And we haven't got there's nothing factored in here at all. There's no nuke, there's no ancillary power. As we spoke earlier on, to Jeffro, sorry. You know, another power block out here could have been the win. Genuine, one power block, mate. Imagine that. 15 minutes of setting up another power block, and you potentially have enough power to survive this. But as I say that now, and as the music talks about being on fire, we see the North. It takes a lot of effort to build nuclear power in such a quick time. Some people don't like it. Some people think it's too costly, and it isn't cost effective. My rebuttal to that is, if you can build a nuke, you should build a nuke. And when the nuclear fuel is so close to you, you absolutely should build a nuke. Like, both teams have played very quick. And as I say that, the South are on fire. This is going to be fucking close. Guys, this is a tournament game. We have run 28 games so far in this tournament to get to this point right now. So, somebody's getting kicked out. It is the end of a run for some of these captains, and some bosses just walk straight through the base in main. These two guys are strong enough to kill the game off. That's terrifying. They chew a building down, they'll remove a pipe or two. They're coming for the kill, they're coming for the central. Does anybody have anything to block these guys off? These two bosses are far too strong. But you look down south and look at this. They're infested, they're losing parts of their base. There's nothing, by the way. The silo is here. There's nothing in the way. If any of these bugs, if any amount of these bugs make it through, they just end the game and you win. You move forward to the lower bracket final tomorrow with a chance to play in the grand final. I remember, guys, I think it's clutch. I need to double check who's in the grand final. There's a player in this game right now that you will meet at the very end, at the top of the mountain, right? So you are fighting for survival. There are a handful of bugs, less than 10. Oh, don't worry, RJD, mate. It'll all go up on YouTube. All the VODs will go up, because these games are bangers, and this is stupid close, mate. Genuinely stupid close. And all the South have to do is hold on. That's all they have to do. They don't need to swim. They just don't need to drown. At this point now, it's about who loses the slowest, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, at the moment, the bugs are just kind of eating what they want. I would argue that as long as they don't make it here, them killing anything here is better than kind of, you know, the alternative. Power at the moment, let's check out on power real quick. It's red and bouncing. Damn. They just don't have nothing is, oh, I mean, there you go, nothing is working, nothing is on. You know, you kind of need to kickstart power again, don't you? You know, just grab some coal and chuck it in. This is frightening. You know, that is, just sums the game up, doesn't it? We don't even have power to put stuff into our rocket to win the game. Genuinely terrifying. And with bugs as close as this on the north, how far away... Guys, I think this is a banger game. This is a banger game. What is this? Oh my god. So they're kiting bugs in north. Meanwhile on south, in the middle of the power block, we have 4 bosses. And guys, I spoke about this earlier. I am the Oracle, right? I said they will come across. They will come across. Oh no, it's not us, is it? I think Scotland have done us, haven't they? Meanwhile, though, the North are sending another rocket. The South are contending with bosses in and around their power block. Another wave crashes in. They can't kill this off. All they can do is kite it. And inches away from disaster, both teams lie. Inches from success as well as failure. The North or the South, which will crumble first? I am genuinely excited to see who can kite this out the longest, because, you know, the moment the bugs touch your base ceases to exist, right? So, like, yeah. I mean, it's, yeah, oh, this is frightening. Another pack of bugs, sideswipe across to the north. They need somebody to intercept this. This spitter is more than strong enough to kill off your silo, and here it goes. Is anybody here? Does anybody have anything for this? A capsule, anything? You can repair pack the silo. You can repair pack the silo. You can build a couple of repair packs and like try and force this. Meanwhile on the south, anything close? Anything not close enough? We'll stay with this. This guy just doesn't give a shit, does it? He's just, fuck you and your... I think somebody's just done that to me. I'm going to be honest, like, Jimmy 50 sends another 1,000 science over and this boss just can't be stopped. Here we go, a laser goes down. Do they have the power for it? No. But somebody is, okay, hero play. Somebody's repair packing this. They're slowing down. And the boss is getting chipped. The North are saving the day, but will they be able to... If the North win this... okay. I'll stop that thought right there. So, one boss spitting on the silo is manageable, and they managed it. These chunky guys here... Yeah... it might be ready to type in GG's, the double G's. I do have an announcement at the end of the stream, guys. This has been a great game, and we'll get to that announcement, but as it stands, South Captain moves on. North Captain, the end of your tournament is here. GG's, everyone. Final evolution for the North, 146%. Final evolution on the South, 126%. I'm just going to quickly type into game. The winner of today's Captain game is not done. They have to play another game tomorrow to get to the final. So although the South Captain has won right now, that doesn't mean anything. That just means they've survived to live to fight another day. Oh damn, what a game. And I just noticed in chat, yeah, Clyde is saying that one team is on fire, and it's probably not us, isn't it? Oh, I have to watch the game. I'm going to watch it on playback, so please, no spoilers, but Jesus. How close were the South? No, they managed to kite the bugs away, I think, effectively enough. What a game. What a quick ending as well. Like, both... I think the rocket timing threw the North off a little bit. I believe they were in the lead for that game for most of it. Like, in terms of, like, research and stuff. Here are your MVPs. Remember, guys, you can vote for the MVPs on Discord as well after the game. So, announcement time. Now that the game is over. And I'll cut this bit out of the YouTube VOD, so... Let me just turn the volume down on this real quick. So, mini announcement, I guess. I'm going to be setting up a Discord server and basically adding anybody in it that wants to play Factorio from Easter all the way through to the summer. It's going to be run independently from Biter Battles, just to keep Biter Battles about Biter Battles. So I'm still going to be hosting games like this. I'm still going to be playing Biter Battles as well. But if you're interested in playing Factorio and you want to play with a group of people, I'm going to be running every potential mod I can. So I want to be running K2, separate to Pianodons, separate to Industrial Revolution, Warptorio, everything. We're going to be playing every available mod, trying to complete them, mega bases, buses, everything. We are doing all of it. And I don't know what to start with. We have already started a vanilla mega base, which is already good fun, and that will continue on. But between, you know, Easter and the end of summer, yeah, C block dude. And honestly, I'm willing to take suggestions. So if any of you guys out there have some mods, I know there's an underground mod I really want to try because you can complete it in like 10 hours, I think, called like Diggy Diggy Hole or something. So yeah, I'll be setting up a Discord for that, and I'll just be adding everybody that wants to be added. So message me on Discord, or maybe what I'll do is tomorrow when I stream, I will have set it up and I'll put a link to it in my Twitch chat, so you can click on that and it will automatically add you to that Discord. And it's just a place where I can organize the time, the dates, you know, the passwords, the servers. We can kind of vote on what we want to do next, etc. So yeah, you know, we can kind of just keep it moving and just play lots of Factorio. I want to play the MMP run, but I also want to watch the Scotland game. Oh god, I'm gonna have to. Oh. So guys, typically I'm a big fan of raiding. I like raiding people. Do any of you guys have friends that are playing online that are streaming that would welcome a raid? I like to kind of, you know, pass the love on. Don't feel like you need to stay. You know, say hi and then, you know, bounce out to do something else. But is there anybody streaming at the moment that you could recommend us to raid? High speed. Yeah, good shout actually. Do you know what I haven't? It's Frabj. Ooh, yeah, let's raid Frabj. Sorry, I think I might be wrong, and if I am wrong, I will raid high speed tomorrow. I think I raided high speed last week. So let's raid Frabj, because Frabj is a speedrunner, and I'm a big fan, you know. And JD plays. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll create a list, and we'll make sure that we hit these people, because we've got today's streaming, tomorrow's streaming, and the day after as well. So we've got a couple of ones we can hit. So let me raid. And yeah, thank you for joining me, guys. I'll pay out I'll do the prediction as well. I'll do the prediction, but thank you for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. We have more games on, and I'll have that Discord ready to go as well for tomorrow. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye.